Well, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, May 5th, and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Thom. Let's see. Michael Joseph Jackson, the king of pop, as he was known, an American singer, dancer, songwriter, and humanitarian. He influenced pop music's evolution and broke racial barriers in the United States. Went to see the movie Mychal this past weekend. I enjoyed it. Those of us who got to witness Mychal Jackson know what a phenom he was. His achievements include selling over 500 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling artists ever, redefining music videos with innovative work like Thriller and Billie Jean and Beat It. Few people could have predicted the monumental success of Jackson's Thriller, which Motown released in 1982, revolutionizing the sound of R&B. The album had enormous crossover appeal, and Thriller holds the record for being the best-selling album of all time with an eye-watering 47 million records sold. Michael Jackson's televised memorial service was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles and viewed by more than 2.5 billion people worldwide. It was it's a really good film. Jafar Jackson, who plays Michael, did a great job. And I actually saw him on a talk show this week. And that was his first acting opportunity. And he seems like a nice young man. Today's show is a roundtable with Mychal, Barbara, Wallace Edwards, Barbara Larkin, and myself. Sean is here with Gadaman, and Emily and Joyce may be here if they choose to participate. And of course, the audience participates through the chat. It should be fun. We look forward to the conversation. Our show today, of course, is brought to you by the consulting firm of Best Girl Inc. Let's hear from Best Girl.
Best Girl is a consulting firm that provides customized leadership, access and inclusion, public relations, communications, and organizational consulting services. Clients include Fortune 500 companies, utilities, higher education institutions, small businesses, and associations. Best Girl's team of consultants, led by Joyce Gilly-Gossom, Emily Hedrick, and Sean Jones, partners with business and education clients to promote organizational effectiveness, communication, motivation, and leadership, with always an impact on the bottom line. Best Girl's customized consulting services include strategic planning, corporate communication, executive coaching, fundraising, and economic development.
Continues to customize the solution that fits your needs. So let's go to our roundtable discussion this morning and see what we have from the panel. Good morning, Barbara Wallace Edwards.
Good morning,
Excuse me.
sir.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. Why don't we just get everybody on here at one time, and then we'll go from there. Barbara Larkin, you can come in, and Mychal, that'd be great. Go ahead, Barbara Wallace Edwards. What you got for us?
Well, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers this coming Sunday. It's going to be Mother's Day. So if you haven't gone out and done your shopping yet for Mother's Day, make sure you get that done. And doing some research about Mother's Day, I found that Anna Jarvis was the founder of Mother's Day here in the United States. After her mother died in 1905, Anna campaigned for a national day to honor individual maternal sacrifices. She held the first official service in 1908 in West Virginia and successfully lobbied that President Woodrow Wilson sign it into a law in 1914. By the 1920s, Anna Jarvis became disgusted by the holiday rapid commercialization. So she spent the rest of her life filing lawsuits and against companies because she said they made it too commercialized. That was something I did not know. So she spent the rest of her life and the rest of her fortune, she said, to fight against those companies who just commercialized it way too much. That was not her intent in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Morning, Anthony Tedeschi and Raymond Crump. Crump, I hope you're doing well, man. Okay, Barbara Larkin, what you got?
Well, I wanted to piggyback on what you talked about a moment ago about the movie Michael. I have seen it twice and I probably will go again. It is simply the best music that's playing right now. And I thought, as you said, the movie was really great. But I have a personal interest in it because I have a cousin who's also in the movie, also. But if you watch the movie, there's such brief glances of the other Jacksons because it's all focused on Michael because that's the name of the movie. But Trey Horton is my first cousin's grandson, and he plays Marlon. Is it Marlon in the movie, and does a lot of dancing. So he's a pretty good dancer, and I was really proud of his appearance. So I hope more people will go out and see it. I plan to see it a third time again.
That
Yes,
really
I
was
I
a
enjoyed
great
tell
it.
you,
movie.
it was one of the most interesting thing is when they did Beat It, he brought the Crips and the Bloods together.
Yes,
Yes,
Had
yes,
they were the dancers. It
I
wasn't
didn't.
yes.
professional
Yeah,
dancers.
I
I
did
didn't know
not
that
know that.
either.
I
And
didn't have a
he,
clue. I found that quite fascinating and
Yes,
informative, you know?
yeah,
and
and they all respected him, and
They
so
did.
they came together, and there was no fighting. There was nothing under
right,
that. They were just dancing with Michael
you're
and having
Yeah.
right.
a good time.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool that that
It is
happened. You
cool.
know.
He
And
did
Yeah.
a lot of
it was
cool things when he and I don't know how they did it in the film, but in the film his hair actually caught on fire
Yes.
yes,
and it was burning and
It was.
everybody was kind of standing around shocked. Nobody rushed
right.
to
They
put it
didn't
out.
realize what was happening. I don't think
I don't think they
initially.
did.
Yeah,
And
so
Yeah.
when he was leaving the hospital, he asked his manager guy what was the settlement because Pepsi had to pay him because it
right,
burned his hair up.
right,
And I forget the figure, but it was some millions of dollars or whatever.
right.
And he said, "Give it to the children down in the burn ward," because he had been
Yes,
going down to visit them every
Mm-hmm.
day.
yes,
He's
Mm-hmm.
a pretty incredible guy, and he had
yes.
a rough upbringing. At 6 years old, he was the lead singer, Brother Jackson.
Yes,
That
Yeah.
amazing.
voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Tom, you talked about his nephew Jafar. During the movie, watching the movie, I actually forgot that wasn't Michael. I mean, he
Yeah,
looks so much like him, sounds like him. It was
Moved.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
His
he
it was
was.
moves were
amazing.
so perfect. That he said
Absolutely.
it took him 2 years. Those all of the intricacies of his dancing. It really took him 2 years to get it really perfected. And like Barbara, I went back a second time because now wait a minute. This I'm going to really find out where Michael begins, the real Michael is, and yeah,
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
it's hard to tell.
It's
Really
hard
hard
to
to tell.
tell.
And
Yeah.
to
And
be
he,
this is
he he
his
did he never had friends. He didn't grow up like
no
we grew up with other kids, and that's
right,
No.
why he got the monkey.
Right.
right,
The monkey was his buddy.
right.
Uh,
The monkey, the
Bubbles
rat, being the
and the
mouse,
rat.
and yes, yes,
The
they
rat.
were all his best friends because he didn't have a real childhood.
Yes,
But
because he explained that too.
yeah,
He said children my age they want to take pictures with me and get an autograph. They don't want to be my friend. So
yeah,
right.
Bubbles was his friend, the giraffe, the rat, all of that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. He was. I always said about him that it must have been a hard life. He couldn't even go to a supermarket and
No.
just walk in and buy a loaf of bread. Couldn't do it. It just didn't work.
He had to be in disguise in order to
I
do it.
saw an interview with Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson got him to go to a Laker game. He said he didn't want to go because he wouldn't be able to enjoy the game, and but Magic talked him into it, and Magic said he was right. He never got to see much of the game. For the whole game, people were going up there asking for autographs and so on and so forth. Magic was so funny because Magic says he got a phone call, and and the guy said it was Michael Jackson. So Magic said he hung up. You know,
Right. I saw that.
they called him back, and the guy said it was Michael Jackson. So he hung up again.
Right.
So he said he and Jackie Jackson were good friends. So he called Jackie, Michael's brother. He said, somebody's calling me saying that they're Michael. He said, that is Michael. Michael wants you to do something for him. He said, oh, shit. Okay. So he called back And Mychal answered the phone, and Mychal asked me to come over and have dinner with him. He wanted to talk to me about some stuff. And so Magic says, well, I got to go over there. I'm supposed to take some food. I can't go over there with a bucket of chicken. I got to take some fancy or whatever. So he said he took some roasted chicken, whatever.
Right,
He didn't take fried. And so he said he got over there and they brought Mychal's food out, and it was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
A bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Like say he got up and said, I'll be back. And he went and got him some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, those are great stories. I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
That's hilarious. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, I guess, Barbara, you've seen the movie too, or not?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so all of you see the movie. Okay, great.
Yes.
Let me ask you this one question, because I think my brother went to see it and a cousin, and they were talking and said that Janet Jackson and I think Jermaine didn't have any input or have offer any support. What was that about?
I don't know what that was about.
Okay.
Yeah, Janet, of course, didn't make any appearances, even as in the movie at all. But Jermaine, of course, Jermaine's son is playing the lead part, so I think he was probably involved. It may have been one of the other brothers that wasn't supportive initially. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what that was all
And
about.
Janet has been more independent. She's the one, when the brothers were, except for Mychal, were pretty much going broke, Janet did well financially.
She did.
She kept herself separate from them.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
And she did extremely well.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a really good film. And I saw Jafar on one of the talk shows, and he said, man, it was hard work,
Yes.
He was talking about how long it took him to get everything down and how hard it was, and so.
And it's still hard to believe that was his first acting gig. I mean, he was a star.
And you're telling me this is Jermaine's son that's playing Mychal?
Yes, it's Jermaine's son.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We last summer we went to New York, and there Mychal the musical is on Broadway, and we went to see it. And the guy who played Mychal was the understudy. And I don't know how good the main guy was, but the understudy guy was incredible. And he looked like Mychal. He sounded like Mychal. He danced like Mychal. And it's just amazing. And I'm glad they, and of course the people started the stuff about, well, what about the charges against him and so on and so forth. He was never found guilty of anything.
Right.
And, and as my friend said in L.A., you file suit in hopes of getting a settlement. You don't want to go to trial.
That's right.
You ain't got the evidence to prove it. And that's what they said with him. It was a lack of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they settled it anyway just to get rid of it. Because
That is a trick that people use. They'll throw a demand letter out there, especially with somebody that has a reputation that's in the public light, because they much rather just settle it and move on. Because, and everybody, we all know this, is people will believe a lie before they believe the truth anyway. Right?
We see that every day, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Exhibit A.
Barbara? What you talking about?
I know who she's
Secret,
talking about.
Mychal. I'm not going to tell you. It's an international secret
that everyone knows.
As my man on different strokes, what you talking about, Willis?
True.
Anyway, anything? What else you got, Mychal? You got something?
We're talking about playoff basketball and what's going on, and Thom was talking about how the intensity of the game turns up around that time, and because they're playing for money and all that. And I made the comment that the referees are officiating for money as well. And it turns out in that game with the 76ers and Boston Celtics. The Celtics had a 3-1 lead on the Sixers, and the Sixers came back and they won their game. And Jaylen Brown is saying that, to borrow the words of a friend of ours, the referees had a vendetta against her,
Vendetta.
because he's saying that, and you notice, and we talk about this all the time, but when you're dribbling the ball and you're trying to create space, you always talk that you use your offhand to kind of keep the guy from reaching in and grabbing the ball. So everybody's taught to do that, and everybody does that.
Right.
And Jaylen is saying that that's like his go-to move and stuff. And in the game against the Sixers, they were calling it on him, but when Brunson did it for the Knicks, they didn't call it.
Yeah.
And they were letting it go. And there was some conversation that, he said there's an agenda, and he says he believes he was subjected to the fact that he criticized them during the year for their officiating. And so they were now using this as an opportunity to get him back. Yes. And somebody said that there was some discussion about Jaylen and this, and that when he did this move to go ahead and call it. And so it may be something.
But they don't just put the hand down and guard the ball. They knock the shit out the person guarding them.
Yeah.
They do.
Right. That's the difference.
I can see why they call it. They need to call it more,
Yeah.
They do, because it's kind of rough under that basket when they have the ball and that arm is going out and their butt's going back and their back's going. Oh, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's horrible under the basket when that happens. I'm like, who's fouling whom? How do you tell?
They're all fouling each other.
The guy for the Knicks, he's a hell of a rebounder, but he can't shoot free throws. So
Mr. Robinson.
He almost tore the goal down with one. Damn, it's like.
Oh goodness!
Barbara said the arms going out and the butt's going
back.
It is.
So what do you
It's almost like a dance that they have. It's crazy.
Who are you all picking to win it all? Who do you think, Mychal?
I don't know. You kind of have to look at and say, if things continue, the Knicks would have to be the favorite, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because they are playing two styles of basketball, meaning they can play inside out and they can also play outside in. They have a lot of shooters there, but they have two big post guys that dominate on the board. And when you get into playoff basketball and stuff like that, you've got to be able to get some tough baskets inside and get some rebounding, because that jump shot is going to go and come.
Right.
That's true.
I would like to really see them match up against Oklahoma Thunder, because Oklahoma Thunder is a big team too, and they have some size. Yeah. So that would be probably an interesting game to see them go at each other, I would say. But don't count out Minnesota.
That's true.
I wouldn't count out Minnesota, but I like Oklahoma City, I think. But I tell you who's going to be really good probably in the next year or two is San Antonio.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They got some good young guys.
They
and
do.
I like watching Wemby play, man. Wemby can take 2 steps at half court and dunk that damn here.
Thank you. Thank you. He does. He's an amazing long arms, long legs.
Yeah. And he and Gobert, I'm glad Gobert had a good game because they always dog him out.
They do. They give him a hard time.
And
yes.
Rudy been under the microscope ever since he did the COVID thing. When COVID came out and he was at that press conference and he was talking about, and he was putting his hands all over the mic and doing crazy stuff. You don't remember that talk?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember.
that was an interesting thing. And then people started getting COVID and stuff, and so he kind of had a bad reputation for a minute there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. let me ask you guys about this. And I'm happy to see him finally speaking up. I was reading an article about Obama voicing the double standards
Mm-hmm.
that exist in politics, in particularly between himself and the current president,
Oh,
Donald Trump.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
and I understand that, in that business, you have to carry yourself with a certain amount of decorum, and class and what have you. But
Not
with Trump,
anymore.
but yeah, well, that's true. But with Trump doing all this
Yeah.
stuff, Obama has pretty much maintained an even keel. And
Yes.
that's really the best way to deal with Trump. But they're
Right.
saying that he's been voicing his displeasure and saying, could you imagine if he had taken a jet from Qatar as a gift,
Right.
uh,
Right.
had put out some Bitcoins and all the stuff that Trump is doing, and nothing is really said about it. Some people talk about it. He said, had he done anything like that, it would have been a complete backlash. And I remember that Obama came out one time to give a speech and had on like a tan suit.
Fan suit.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
that?
I remember. How could you
Yes.
forget it?
I was gonna say
And
they made such a big deal
They
out of it.
did.
Yeah,
The
we
press
can't
went
ever forget
crazy.
that. Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yes.
what are you doing wearing a tan suit? And that was just a big about nothing, but they
And
made
Right.
it like it was somehow a disgrace to the office of presidency.
and
Right.
look
You
at this
know,
34 count felon sitting up in office.
Exactly.
When was the
Exactly.
last time that was said? I mean, come on,
Right.
people. How do you do that? I mean,
yeah,
a tan
Yep.
suit versus 34 felonies?
Right.
That's all I have to say.
There was a lot of unspoken animosity towards Obama
Right.
Yes.
from a lot
Yes.
of people. And there was a big thing I was reading the other day about how you get people to vote against their own best interest. And you convince
Mm-hmm.
them that
Yeah.
somebody's going to take something away from them, or what they don't
Right.
have is because somebody else is getting it.
Took it from them.
And
Yes.
that's pretty much the playbook. You
It really
Yes.
is, Tom. There
convince
was
them
a,
that, hey, these black folks are going, the whole thing with DEI was so fucking stupid. Excuse me, I shouldn't say that on the thing. But anyway, I
it
mean,
was
if you think
stupid.
about it, all those corporations, all those CEOs who were supporting DEI, who were talking about how great it was for their
Right.
businesses and
Right.
so on and so forth, and then they all ran and hid uh,
Right.
when
And
Fat Donnie came out with his thing against DEI.
right.
Hmm.
And I just I think there's just some things I would never do for money, and I,
Right.
and I think that's where we are in this world. What's happening now? People are doing it for money, and
Yeah.
just kind of sad, really.
It really
There was
is.
something I
That's
read
where we are.
this past week that said DEI was designed to get the most qualified people in place regardless of race. Right
Right.
now we have a plethora of incompetent, unqualified, self-glorifying people in positions they shouldn't be in because they are against DEI. And DEI is the very thing that was supposed to fix that problem.
DEI was the boogeyman.
Yeah.
You throw the boogeyman out there, and you can scare people. If you guys, there's a great documentary on Netflix called Sitting Bull about the Indian chief Sitting Bull,
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and how they just took that land from those people, and how they would go out and just kill all the buffalo. I mean, it was pretty amazing, and how they talk about immigrants, how those immigrants, because that's what they were,
Mm-hmm.
could just get land for free.
Right.
If
They
you
did.
got to Oklahoma, you could just say, "Hey, this is my land right here,"
And
and
the
and,
Sooners went
and
out there and took it before
right,
they fired the gun to say go. The Sooners were already out there with the land. That's what they call them, Sooners.
Right.
that's
Yeah, watch out for those Sooners now.
Yeah. Right.
They're going to get a head start. When they fired the gun for people to go, they were already out there with that
They were
tape.
already there.
You got to go
That's where
farther.
that's where that little wagon and those little ponies came from. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They didn't
And
wait for
there's
the
just
gun to go off,
No,
Barbara. They
they
were
did
already
not.
out in front. Yeah.
don't want you to talk about the truth when it comes to
Right.
history.
That's
Right.
true.
Let's don't
And
talk about it. Let's pretend it's something else.
pretend it's not there. And
Yeah.
Tom, I want to go back to something that you said about DEI and why people vote against their best interests. There was a study done by a um, a university that talked about, the question was, why do white women in America vote against their own interest? Okay, why did they vote for Donald Trump? And they said the majority of people, of women who voted for Donald Trump, they do not have a college education. They
Right.
have maybe a high school education or less. And they are very jealous about the changes that have been made in the progress of other women with education who have done well. They have become CEOs, they are executives, they're in the C offices. These women who vote for Trump are very, very jealous. They do not want other women to um, to outshine them. The only thing that they have, because we know that if you simply have a high school education or less, it's challenging to be able to make a living for your family. So these women, the only thing that they have is what their husband has, his work, his reputation. So their thing in voting for Trump was to crush women who are doing better than they are. And this is what their answer was when they went out and did the questioning and did the surveys. So I don't know how you appeal to somebody like that. They don't want to work to get an education. They don't want to make the sacrifices. They don't want to improve their lot in land. They want to stay right there where they are. They don't want anything to change. They want the status quo to stay the same. I don't know how you appeal to someone like that.
Right.
I don't.
But that's where their whole thing, make America great again. They want to go back to
Yes,
those days when they didn't have to fight for those jobs and those hard positions because they automatically got them, and most the more qualified people, because of the color of their skin, could not get those jobs. So
hmm,
that's their whole premise of make America great again. They want to go back to those times when
that's true.
they were the thing. They had, they were the middle class, and they had all of this stuff. Even though they didn't have the education and didn't have the qualifications, they got those positions
They
anyway.
did. They did.
Well,
They most.
Barbara, you asked a hypothetical question there. How do you appeal to someone like that?
Hmm.
Well, the answer is you can't, especially somebody that would admit that to you. Just
Yes,
think about that.
Hmm.
that's true.
They told you
You
that.
told me.
That's something I would have kept to myself if that was
Right.
my real reason. To think that somebody would really say that. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, they did.
So there is no
That's so
reasoning. There's no logic, to that. That's just something you just have to say, oh well,
Right.
hmm.
and move on.
And Trump appealed to people who are screaming and hollering about the immigrants. Well, everybody that came to this country came as an immigrant except us. We didn't buy a ticket. We didn't seek out a boat. We didn't get sent away by our relatives. We were bought or stolen and brought over here for one thing, free labor.
That's it.
And
That's it.
when the Brits wanted to get rid of all of their horrible people who were in the jails, they sent all the pickpockets and the thieves
They sent
and
them to Georgia.
here.
Yeah.
That's where they are. Look at the president.
Right. Right.
I mean, just
Exactly.
think about think about his deeds. Think about his children. Think about his wife. I mean, think about all of that. You
But
know,
So,
it's what's
so
you
they
let it
sent
amazing.
them to
go.
Georgia. They sent a few over there to Alabama too.
Yeah, we got a lot here in Alabama.
I agree with that. And,
Yes.
and Northwest Florida down here, we got
Oh yeah, absolutely,
They're
absolutely.
all
DeSantis being
over.
the number one guy.
Oh yes, he
Oh my
is.
Yes,
goodness,
yeah.
you guys
Well,
are
He and
funny.
Abbott in Texas, they're running neck and neck.
There was a story on the news this morning. And news station over in Pensacola. The guy who is the president at Pensacola State College is a guy that Joyce used to work with in Walker County, and he's the president up there now, and he's leaving um, because they have come out. This young lady wrote a piece for a publication about LG, whatever, how do you pronounce it? LGBT,
Yep.
whatever it is.
All the
Yeah,
alphabets. Just go ahead and say.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And they basically told her she couldn't do that. And she wasn't harming anybody. She just wrote an opinion piece.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
the president basically stuck by her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now he's got to leave um,
Oh.
because our great governor is he's put people in, he's taken people off the boards who are qualified and put people on
Or not.
who will do what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's just, I don't know, man. We're just regularly going backwards. And
Yes, we are.
what I don't understand is, and I don't know how you reconcile it with people who well, I'm gonna leave that one alone because um, I'm going somewhere. I need to hold that one back for a little while.
I understand.
We
Well, it
understand.
look like you guys are going to have the opportunity to elect a new governor, and it's going to be Byron Donalds
Yeah.
Byron Donalds.
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Florida.
In Florida.
Black dude.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay. Tell us
Um,
about that, Michael.
he was endorsed by Donald Trump and uh, did a lot of high profile campaigning for Donald Trump, especially in Atlanta, going into the neighborhoods where there are predominantly African American businesses and stuff, and getting Trump on the phone and, you know, doing that stuff to gather points and what have you, and to maybe, and it's basically what they call it's outreach. So he was basically in charge of outreach uh,
Hmm.
for Trump,
Wow.
especially here in Georgia. So I saw a poll that said that he has about 56%, that it may be a landslide for the
Wow.
Republican nomination there in
Hmm.
Florida to replace DeSantis.
So, do they have a primary coming up?
Yeah.
And after the primary, then,
Then
yeah,
we'll
I'm
go to the, yeah.
that.
So it's going to be interesting this year what happens.
Well, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to be having a primary coming up here in May, here in Alabama, but that may be delayed as a
It
result
may
of the
be.
Supreme Court decision last week. So, um, I'm just, as we were talking earlier, I get so disgusted with the changes in the administration right now that it's almost like I don't want to watch news anymore.
Yeah. I can understand that. I really can. Yeah.
Well, one thing you learn about Fat Donnie is you can't really embarrass him. It
No,
doesn't matter what you say about him, long as you're talking about it.
right?
That's that's where he's coming from. You
Yes,
know, that you can go on TV and dog him out unless you Jimmy Kimmel. He
Oh, my goodness.
tries to get that man fired, and then he can't stand the backlash.
He
right.
can't stand the
Jimmy comes
backlash.
after him.
But
You
Mm-mm.
know,
instead of him addressing the issues that we're facing here in this country, gas prices are out the
He
wazoo.
doesn't care.
He doesn't care about any of that stuff. He's always going after the people who have said something negative in his mind about him. He's still talking about Rosie O'Donnell. And it's been 10 years since Rosie O'Donnell made a statement about him, but he's still talking about her and what she said about him and how she's low down and she's no good and she has low IQ, and that's his tactics all of the time. That's let me just attack somebody else and maybe they'll forget about things I've done and said.
Well, yeah. And now, of course, you all know about him putting his signature on the dollar bills coming out in June. Of course, he's going to start with the $100 bill and then go to the lower denominations. I'm holding on to my dollars so I don't have to And there's a new one that just came out yesterday. He wants his
What?
photo on your passport
Oh
now.
yeah, that just came out. Yes. Like man.
Why? And he says his photo that is going to behind him will be the Declaration of Independence. Has he read it? You know what it says?
He can't read
Hello?
it. I
No.
don't think he's capable of reading it.
And then he's going to put the photograph of the founding fathers on the back of the next page. So he's going to be prominent.
And
Well,
As I said.
some people will appreciate that, and many of us won't. So
That's true.
Yes.
That's
we'll
true.
just
It's
move
going to be
on.
interesting to see who's actually going to say, no, I don't want those dollars. I want the regular dollars. And people you can begin to see how that will affect how people accept money. Or everybody just start using credit cards. Don't even deal with the paper money,
Right.
you know. You all heard that Rudy Giuliani is in the hospital in Florida. He has
Yes.
pneumonia.
He's not
He's in
doing well.
stable but critical condition.
Mm,
Just want to let you all know that Rudy is sick.
I'm glad.
How's this buddy doing? Is buddy going to sin?
Of
No,
course not. Of
he
course
doesn't like
not.
sick people.
Uh, yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
let's see what else we got. It's Mental Health Month as well.
Yes,
That's a good thing. Mental Health
Yes.
Awareness Month. Time to raise awareness and reduce the stigma surrounding behavioral health conditions. Maybe that's what's wrong with our president. It's a mental health issue. Huh?
Maybe. Maybe.
his niece was been on point since he started running.
Yes. Even
Yeah,
his own mother. Didn't his mother say something about he was just incompetent and
Yeah, yeah.
she
yeah,
did.
that's
And here we are. And
here we
here
are.
we are.
yes.
Let's see. What else? Hey, let me say good morning to Pat Addington. Pat's back with us this morning. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being with us. Uh, it's good to have you back. Talk to you later. Um, let's let Sean do got a minute, and then we'll come back in
All
the
right.
second half of the show.
Morning to everyone joining in with us. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute. It's Tuesday, and with all the conversation that's going on today, doing the right thing is not always easy, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it costs you something. But let's be honest, standing up for what's right doesn't always come with an applause. It might come with some side eyes, it might come with distance, even loss. But here's the truth: your integrity is not situational. Who you are when it's cool, cool. Who you are when it's hard, that's your character. Because doing the right thing isn't about being perfect, it's about being aligned with your values, aligned with your spirit, and aligned with your truth. So today, if you feel that nudge, that quiet voice telling you, well, this isn't right, listen to it. Even if your voice shakes, even if you're standing alone, even if nobody claps, because at the end of the day, you have to live with you. And that kind of peace, we do not negotiate. So today, every day, take a minute and think, what does doing the right thing look like for you today? Are you standing for something or are you just standing by? And that's it. That's your minute. So I want all y'all to go out and have a great day. And if you don't want to, then fine. But don't go ruin anybody else's. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute.
I was trying to read your T-shirt. What does it say?
I was too.
Can you come back and tell us
I
what your
am. I'm
T-shirt
back.
says?
So
Yes.
it says, some
Okay.
things are better left alone, like me.
Me for we got the message.
Yes,
Good.
like
Yes.
me, for instance. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so let's go. We don't have a G list guest, so let's go through another round table, and I'll start off. Man, I don't know if Mike Tirico, you guys, Mike Tirico is outstanding. He is the best, I swear. He's the best announcer in the business. This past weekend, he did the NBA playoff game. He was on the Kentucky Derby race, and he's been doing the golf. He never misses a beat, and he never lets his personal feelings and thoughts interfere with what he's doing. Um, he's pretty much incredible, and you hardly ever see him. Um, but he's the best. He's the best I think out there. Um, I won the Kentucky Derby this past weekend. My horse came in first.
All right.
Um, I put a little money on it, and
Congratulations.
we got back from the Dixon School, and I rushed in to watch the Kentucky Derby because I had placed my bet that morning, and that horse was dead last, buddy, and
Came from the back.
fighting back.
Came from the back. That is amazing.
It was incredible, and congratulations to that woman trainer who
Yes.
her horse first time. I guess a woman trainer had won the Kentucky
Yes.
Derby, and when that horse
Yes.
went across the line, she grabbed her chest.
She couldn't believe it herself. Yes,
Oh,
that
that's
was
wonderful.
amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it was great. It was
She did the
Very.
Fred Sanford, huh?
She
She
did.
did.
Yes, she did.
Sherry Deval, I think it's her name. Yeah, that was amazing. She made
She was
history.
great. She was
Yes.
great. And one thing for me, last thing for me, couple of weeks ago, we had the Dixon School of Arts and Sciences on with us. It's a private school in Pensacola, and they had a play this weekend with the young kids, and it was outstanding. The young dancers, the singers, um, and they do something really different. They had two casts, and so they had a show. The show we went to was at 2. There was another show that evening, I think around 6, and the second cast would perform in that show. And they do that so that all the kids get an opportunity to be in the play.
That's great.
Do it. It was very worthwhile. They were great when they were on the show,
Yes.
and they were really wonderful. And I told you guys about the little girl who just couldn't stop dancing the whole time. She was great. But the lady, the artistic lady, was there
Yes.
with an assistant with her. It was very very special, and I'm proud of them, and we'll probably go back to some more of their stuff. It was great.
That's awesome.
Good.
So who else has got something here?
Today is Cinco de Mayo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
yeah, so let's all go out and celebrate. It's always
Yes.
colorful, lots of good music, lots of great food. And we have some friends that we met at the gym when we were going regularly. And they have a Mexican restaurant. So we're going to go over and probably have lunch and hang out. I know dinner is going to be a long dinner. It's going to be probably packed until after midnight. So we're going
Yes.
to go around noon and try and celebrate a little bit of Cinco de Mayo with them. And of course, that symbolizes the Mexicans' resistance to the French and their foreign intervention. And they celebrate this with lots of fun food and music. So if you have a chance, go out and get your margarita. Have a good time.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Auburn Nation baseball plays UAB today at Regents Field here in Birmingham, and they're celebrating Cinco de Mayo at the game. So they're going to have $5 margaritas, $5 two for, tacos for $5 as well. So it should be a fun evening at the baseball field.
Okay.
Where they playing? Rickwood?
No, they're playing at Regents Park
Okay.
downtown. Yes,
Yeah. Auburn's ranked what, like 6th or 8th or something in the
I think
nation
they were
right now.
seventh. They were over the weekend, and I think they won their series over Texas A&M. So the new rankings I think come out today. So they may be even higher by now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have a clock that they have to follow when they're playing baseball now? I know
A clock?
softball does. The ball has to be released out of the
I
pitcher's.
think the
But
pros do.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that in college level. I'm not
well,
sure.
I will think about them, but I will not be present unless they have a clock. It's
And
too
they may
boring.
have it, Barbara. I don't know. This has
I
been the
don't know
first game
either.
of the season, so
Yeah,
I am looking forward to it. Yeah,
yeah.
and Auburn expecting the big crowd there. The
I'm sure. I'm
Greater
sure.
Birmingham Auburn Club sold tickets, and the guy that I spoke to on Friday said that they sold over 700 tickets just to Auburn fans alone at that point. So, um,
Wonderful.
yeah, they're expecting a big crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Check this excuse out. A lady in Colorado, she is 30 years old. She hit a 41-year-old motorcyclist named Aaron Barone while she was under the influence of cocaine and alcohol.
Damn.
In a devastating crash in Grand Junction, Colorado. And then she blamed the accident on a Mexican lady.
Made
How
her
did she
snort
do
that
that?
cocaine.
I was gonna say that did she sell him the cocaine? How did she blame it on her?
No, she says that she saw the motorcyclist injured in an accident, and she's a registered nurse, so she stopped to provide aid, and that's when she saw the Mexican lady hit him and take off.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Mexicans are
Yeah.
catching it like we used to catch it. Everything
Yeah.
is wrong because somebody black did it. Now everything is wrong because somebody brown did it. Okay. This is it. You see the trend here going on.
Yes. Wow.
You guys ever see that comedian guy Ralphie May?
Yes.
Real big.
Yes.
Ralphie May's funny. Ralphie May said if you're in Arizona, you get stopped for driving with 19 Mexicans in your car.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, tell me this, there was a good series in playoffs, speaking of basketball, between Detroit and Orlando. And I thought it was a well-played series, to be honest with you, although Orlando jumped out to a 3-1 lead, and they ended up losing game 7. But when you look at this, Detroit was ranked number 1. They're the number 1 ranked team in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
Orlando had to fight to get into the playoffs because they had to win the playoff games and all that.
Right? They had to win. Okay.
The play-in game. Yes.
Right.
So they won play-in game in order to get a chance to make it to the playoffs. So they're the 8th seed. So your prize is getting the number 1 seed, and you take them the 7th game.
Yeah.
But your coach is fired because you lost that playoff.
And I heard last night that apparently there's some guy on Orlando's team who is assigned to guard the guy on Detroit, who's the Cade Cunningham.
Right.
And Cade had a horrible game. As long as this guy was guarding him, he was shooting a very low percentage. He wasn't hitting anything. And that guy got hurt. And they didn't have anybody to put in his place to guard Cade. And then Cade got off.
Right.
And they were saying, what else could the coach have done?
Nothing.
And they fired him.
Oh wow.
And he's been there 5 years and stuff.
Wow.
And, to be honest, Orlando really haven't been much since it was Shaq and Penny days.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Long time.
And you've had
They made the playoffs is amazing.
That's what I'm saying. So you just disrupt that because they lost 3-1. They really never even should have been in the playoffs.
In there. Right.
Who are their owners? Who owns Orlando? I don't even know.
I'm not sure who owns them now. I'm not really sure.
Who's the general manager?
They were talking about that coach. Apparently, he and the Detroit coach are really good friends.
Yes.
Yes. And, so he was, well, Detroit might hire him. Hell.
Yes. The coach of Orlando's name is Jamal Mosley is his name
Hmm.
and stuff. And, I liked how they conducted themselves. During the game, they both remained very calm, which is hard to do in basketball. Okay.
Yes.
With the way the calls are going, it's just, and the camera's right there on you. It is very hard to do. But they both were very calm and they coached in a classy manner and what have you. But I think it was just absolutely wrong for them to fire him and he got them this close because that's telling me that you're getting there. He's turning it around if you're able to play yourself into the playoff by winning the play-in game and then take the number one seed to 7 games. Man.
Speedy Edwards in the chat says the head coach has taken Orlando to 3 straight playoffs. He probably won't stay unemployed for long.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Right.
not.
And the
I hope not.
DeVos family, that's the family that owns
Okay.
the Orlando Magic. And what's happening is that the next generation is now coming into the leadership and management of that team. So they may not be as experienced as the previous generation.
Family members, right.
So
Or have
yeah,
the patience.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Have the patience, right.
right. Hmm.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I think you got some young person here who is trying to tell you how to do your job, and
Right.
generally doesn't work.
Generally does not work. So
And you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't even know who they played in the play-in, but I was surprised that they had gotten as far as they gotten because, as you
Yes.
say, they hadn't been a good team in so long, man.
Right.
And that one dude they got, that one guy, what's his name? Boy, he's something. Now he can shoot it.
Banchero.
Yeah,
Banchero? Yeah.
yeah,
Look like an Indian. He's from Alaska.
yeah,
you see, wow.
Wow.
yeah.
Yes.
He's tough.
Yeah.
He's real tough.
I think his first name is Paulo
Yeah,
Banchero or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Where
that.
did he? Which university was he from? Duke or
Duke.
where? Was,
He went to Duke.
that's what I
Yes.
thought. Yeah,
He was a one and done.
right.
Yeah.
One and done. Right. I think there
Speedy,
were two or
Speedy
three
put
of
it
them
in the
that did
chat.
the same thing. One and done
Yeah.
Yes,
from
he was
that
one and
team.
done.
Hmm.
All them boys from Kentucky, when what's his name was there, were one and done, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It'll be interesting to see how it turns out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, it will.
I think at this point, I think the Knicks are probably the favorite at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with you. I agree with
I
you.
don't know if San Antonio can beat Minnesota just because they're young and haven't been there before.
Right. Right.
Right.
But
That makes
they're on the rise, man.
Yes, they
they're
are.
good.
We went to a few years ago when what's the guy, the point guard for San Antonio, left-handed guy. He went to Kentucky. I can't think of his name. Anyway, we went up there when Auburn played, and when Auburn had that really good team. And
John Wall was not John Wall, was it?
no, I can't think of his name. He's on San Antonio's team. He's the point guard.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron.
Yeah.
De'Aaron, man. They had De'Aaron. They had Bam Adebayo. And one of the other guys. Three or four of those guys on that Kentucky team are in the NBA now.
Mm.
And man, they were getting up and down that floor so fast, and that's when Auburn had those two little guards that were really
Yes.
good and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, and they
Very.
wore those kids out. They were just getting up and down that floor, and I'd never been to a game at Rupp Arena, but it's more than a basketball game. It's an event, man. Those
Yes.
people,
Yeah, they take it very serious.
They are
Definitely
truly
a
a
basketball
basketball
school. Yeah.
school.
Truly
They
a
are.
basketball school.
yeah.
Well, while we're talking about it, what do you guys think about LeBron James turning back the hands of time? You remember that song by
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tyrone Davis? If I could turn back the hands of time, look like he's doing it.
Yes,
Does.
he is.
It does.
Yes, he is.
But he has this he's a very disciplined man with his what he eats, what he drinks, his rest, his regiment for every part of his life, and that is amazing. He
It
is. I
is.
watched him the other night. I couldn't believe he was 40. I said, "What?
Yeah.
41.
41?
41.
41? My mistake. Yes, 40. Don't forget the one. Yeah, it was just unbelievable to watch him
Yes.
with such speed and such presence out there. I mean, his body looked as young and firm and vigor as the new
Vibrant as the
guy.
rest.
He
Yes.
takes care of himself.
Well, you've been checking them out, Barbara.
Yes, I have.
Barbara says body look just as young and firm and
Firm.
vigorous as the younger guys. Go ahead.
Yes, it's true. But now you wait a minute. Now you got to admit, you know when the old souls at 40 are trying to get down that you're trying to get down that court, and the young guys are already down there waiting on them. Okay, so we have seen this, but now to see someone be able to do it at this age, I mean, goodness.
Can say a lot of
Absolutely.
40-year-olds can't walk down a flight of stairs without getting out of breath. So
Thank
Yeah,
yeah,
you.
I agree.
Ron
My
is
hat's
doing
off to
exceptionally
him.
well.
You know,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Much
he's an
respect.
amazing athlete.
I admire the fact that he's brought his son in there. I mean,
Yes.
people decide so on and so forth. But isn't that what you do in America?
Absolutely.
Especially
know,
right
Depends on
now.
who you are, Tom.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Well,
for
if
sure.
given the opportunity, you should, because that's what they're
Absolutely.
doing. And
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
what
and
they're
I thought
doing.
it was great that they got a chance to play in a playoff game that they actually even won, and LeBron gave him an alley oop and he didn't mess it up. Could you
Yeah.
imagine the pressure on him when
Ooh, I
he's heading
cannot.
to to the basket, looking for the ball like you're taught and
Right.
trained to do, and your
Right.
dad, who is basically all world, that's out there and he's throwing you an alley oop, and you got to be thinking, first thing, I got to catch it. I got to catch it
Right.
first. Then once I catch it, I got to
I
make sure I
gotta
don't
make
miss.
it. That's
I
right.
know I'm not
Gotta
up
make
high
that
enough to
shot.
dunk it, so I'm gonna kiss it off the glass and it
Yeah.
drops in.
Well, Michael, I'm
I
glad the
love
DNA
that.
went where it was supposed to go that night because that's so important. You know, it's so important.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Basketball is a very mental sport. You know, when you think
Yes.
about that moment, and that's why I was saying that just because all those thoughts are going through his mind. I know they
Right.
are. You have to,
Right.
you know, and you got the whole crowd looking at you to
Yes.
see
The
what you're
whole
gonna
the
do.
whole world, not just the crowd in there, but all the TV audience as well. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
if he had missed that basket, oh my
yeah,
goodness.
We had a
yeah.
guy on our football team. He was the kicker, and we were lining up to kick the real important field goal to try to win the game. And he calls the play in the huddle. And he said, "You know, it's 60,000 people in the stands. That means it's 120,000 eyes just on me." You know, he
Thanks for the
said,
reminder.
"So I'm gonna." He said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna make it. I'll make it." And he made it. 120,000 eyes were on him.
Ooh, talk about
Oh,
pressure.
As Tupac
mhm.
Shakur said, all eyes on me.
That's
All
right.
eyes on me. You
Well,
know,
to me, if you can say that in the midst of that, you can take the situation and make it work. Okay,
Yeah,
That's
you got
right.
that's
to.
right.
You got to.
yeah,
Right.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. That's being
That's right.
calm under pressure.
Yes,
So
Absolutely.
true. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
true.
Well, I'm glad for his son because they people got all upset and when he brought his son onto the team and shit. That's what they do in America. I mean,
Yes.
Absolutely.
same
Yes.
thing Fat Johnny's children doing. They're the ones making all the money over there, making deals with the Saudis and so on and so
Right.
forth.
Right. All
You
And
these
know,
the government contracts they're getting, and yeah, they're setting them up for life.
yeah, well, they are. They
yeah.
money wise, they are. They really are. But you know what? Those two sons he has, even he has said they're not very bright. Just
Anybody
like his mama said about him.
Right.
So even if you have the money, if you don't know how to handle it and deal with it won't be long.
starting to
You won't have
screw
any.
up, so I think it's time for us to move on. Everybody's frozen, it seems.
Well,
Uh-oh.
you
Barbara,
are.
you still there?
I'm
You
yes,
still here. We're still here.
we're here.
We
you're
hear
back.
you. Yes,
You're
we
back.
hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anybody got anything else? Nope. We're going to
No,
move
sir.
on. That's it for this May 5th. Mother's Day is upcoming. Cinco de Mayo is the day. Mental health awareness. So there's a lot going on in this month and in this week. So remember, a day without a smile is a day wasted. If you got an extra one, give it to somebody else. They just might make their day. Enjoy yourself. Make every day count. Stay safe. And don't let a day go by that you don't take the time to make your life, as Sean says, or somebody else's life better. Stay safe. Blessings.